Okay. Let's get some light. It's so loud in here. Okay, we're doing my hair. Woo! There, that's better. You guys need a slightly better view than that. How's that? I feel like you're leaning over. That will do. Okay, so we're doing my hair today. And actually I'm very excited for today's live because of a couple things. One, we are talking about how to choose styling products. I'm not going to be recommending specific products for people, but for a lot of reasons, but I am going to be talking about how you can pick the right products for you. So we're going to be talking about like criteria to look for. Okay, the other thing is I am trying out the products for the first time that Marilyn, my name, by the way, if you're new here, my name is Gal. I'm a hairstylist. I work in a curly hair salon. And the last time that I got, or 2 times ago that I got my hair cut, Marilyn, my boss and the owner of my salon, used this product lineup on my hair. And I finally invested in all 3 products. So I am going to use them on my hair today. And when she used these products on my hair lasted a really long time. So I'm just finally excited to use these products. I'm also going to talk about why I'm using each of these products, and I'm going to relate it back to the product selection framework that I'm going to talk about today. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you want to talk about, and as I talk about this product selection framework, I'm going to be doing my hair, obviously, because that's what we do here. On Wednesday mornings, we style my hair. So the first thing you want to do is apply your styling products to soaking wet hair. And a great view of my toilet in the background. I'm going to angle you slightly away from that. Okay, 1 second. There we go, that's slightly better. So, you want to apply your styling products as a rule to soaking wet hair. There's a lot of reasons for that, mostly because it's going to help the product more evenly distribute. It's going to help control frizz. That's a huge one. Hydration is going to be the #1 thing that helps control frizz. So I just rinsed out my conditioner and then got dressed. For most of you, I would actually recommend putting your styling products in the shower. So as soon as you rinse out your conditioner, before you wring any water out of your hair, immediately start applying your curl cream or your leave-in conditioner or whatever your first styling product is. So for most people, let's talk about selecting your styling products, okay? Most people, if we're trying to come up with generic rules, there are no hard and fast rules when it comes to selecting styling products. Some people use 1 product, some people use 5 styling products. And again, there's no right or wrong. Every head of hair is so unique. You can have multiple porosities on your head, you can have multiple curl patterns on your head, and that can cause you to need to use multiple products on your head to get the same results. As someone else who might have very fine, low density hair that is very uniform across their head and might be better off using just 1 product on their head. So there's no hard and fast rules across the board. But I would say 80%, you can kind of cast a net, and 80% of people are going to be able to start off and get decent results using 1 base product and 1 topper product, okay? The base product for most people is going to be, we're going to be looking for a product that is going to be something that's going to, I mean, it can be a variety of things, but typically it's just going to be something that's going to be a base for your gel. Okay, usually you don't want to go straight in with just like a gel. You usually want to have a base first that's going to seal those cuticles, that's going to act as a foundation to help the hair absorb moisture, and that's going to help control frizz if that's one of your struggles. So what you want that base product to be is going to be different for different people. Okay, so I'm going to go through like a couple of criteria that's going to help you select what you want your base product to be. Now, the very first thing that you want to think about is, what is my hair strand thickness? Do I have fine, medium, and coarse hair? And this is going to become, we're going to come back to this because this is going to become really critical in selecting our products. If you don't already know what your strand thickness is, you can take a strand of hair from your head, just like go and pick, you might even want to pick several strands from different parts of your head. Usually right before your next wash day, rake your fingers through your hair and you should be able to just get like loose strands. You usually don't have to pluck one right out of your head if you wait until your next wash day, right before you shampoo your hair. Take a couple strands because you might have different strand thicknesses in different parts of your hair. You might have more than one strand thickness. But the idea is you want to figure out if you're fine, medium, or coarse. Fine hair, if you roll it between your thumb and your pointer finger, you'll barely even feel it. It'll be almost non-existent. Coarse hair will be quite pronounced. You're definitely going to feel it. Some people compare it to kind of the thickness of like a horse's mane. It's going to be more pronounced, coarse hair. And then medium hair is going to be more harder to identify. It's going to fall somewhere between the two. And guess what? A lot of us fall somewhere in that chaotic middle. I have medium strand thickness, okay? And that means you don't want your products to be too heavy, you don't want them to be too light, or it means you need to look at some other identifiers. Strand thickness might not be your key identifier when it comes to things like the weight of your product, things like that. Okay, so again, we're looking at base and topper products. We're starting with your base product. We've now figured out what your strand thickness is. As a rule, if you have fine hair, you're going to want lighter weight products, milkier products, creamier products, nothing too heavy, not those butters, not like heavy creams. And guess what? Most curl creams that you go and buy, especially at the drugstore, are going to be quite heavy. So be very aware of that. If you have fine hair, be very cautious with curl creams. Not that there are curl creams out there that are made for you, but you're going to basically want it to say for fine hair right on the label, or weightless, something like that. Okay? Coarse hair, you can get away with those often. Coarse hair can get away with heavier curl creams. The exception to that being if your coarse hair is very resistant. How do you know if your coarse hair is resistant? If you put heavy products on your coarse hair and it just sits on top. Or if your coarse hair does not get wet. You try to get it wet and it just will not get wet. That is very resistant coarse hair. Then you will probably benefit from a very, very lightweight, almost like water, leave-in conditioner before you go in with any of your other products. Okay? Typically fine hair, I don't usually use a leave-in conditioner on most of my clients unless they are extremely resistant. Then they need that very lightweight leave-in conditioner as something very lightweight to help it start receiving moisture. Okay? And then with coarse hair, I might start with something very lightweight and then I will go in with something heavier because that coarse hair typically does still need a heavier product in my experience. It just needs something lightweight first to help it start receiving moisture. Okay, so we've got our base product that we have started to select based on whether you have fine, medium, or coarse hair, okay? So lightweight or heavy. Okay, the next thing is, do we want that base product to be cream based or not? Because there are different types of base products. You've got things like, we talked a little bit about leave-in conditioners, we've got jellies or gelays, we've got curl creams, like there's a lot of categories that fall into this like base product category. So how do you know whether or not you want it to be a cream product? That's really going to come down to whether or not your hair naturally is more silky and like doesn't get frizzy or gets frizzy naturally. If your hair naturally you struggle with frizz, you're probably going to want it to be a cream based product. And that's pretty much as simple as like that's it. If you struggle with frizz, that base product, you probably want it to have some cream in it. Okay? If your hair is super, super silky, so silky that curl just falls right out of it, it's not a bad idea to introduce something with texture at some point in your curl routine, like a sea salt spray, something like that that will add texture to your hair, and your hair will hold curl a lot better. Okay, that might be something that you add as one of your base products. Okay, so these are like criteria that you can look at your base products. I know it can seem overwhelming, but if you I recently posted a video about this on TikTok that really like simplifies it with overlays so that you can just answer these questions to write down criteria. Like, okay, I want my product to be lightweight. I want my product to be cream based. And when you kind of break it down like that, then when you go to the store, whether you're going to a drugstore or whether you're going to a salon, wherever you're going to buy your products, then when you look at a product and you're trying to decide whether or not this product is for me, you have this list of things that help you assess whether or not this is a good fit for your hair. Okay? So you've decided for the last kind of thing that you want to look at for your base product is, what are my goals for my hair? Do I want to encourage my curl? Do I want to reduce shrinkage in my hair? Because we don't all have the same goals. This is very, very important because I see, you wouldn't believe the amount of clients I see coming in to the salon and they just haven't read the labels on their products, and they're using curl creams that, like, with hair like mine, and they want their hair to be as curly as possible, and it says right on the curl cream, great for twist outs, reduces shrinkage. But they just never read the label. So if you're not familiar with that terminology, that literally means it will make your hair less curly. And these are very heavy curl creams. If your hair is like mine, these are great products for the right person. But it's so important that you read the labels and you think about what are your goals. So typically the products will tell you right on them what they are trying to achieve. And think about whether or not those goals are in line with what your hair goals are. And it's cheat codes. They're trying to help you out often on labels. Sometimes less so, but sometimes they really are trying to help you out. So those are your base products. There are a million types of base products. Most people are going to use some sort of a curl enhancer, curl cream, something like that, a gelée or some sort of a gel primer if you have very fine hair, or some types of type 4 hair might use like a gelée or something as a primer, or very fine hair that's weighed down very easily might use like a gelée that is very silky. Fine hair that's very silky and does not get frizzy easily and is weighed down easily might use like a plumping primer or something like that rather than a curl cream. But the rest of us are going to use most of the time some sort of a curl cream, but just varying degrees of weight. So today, I am not using a curl cream, but I'm basically using a curl cream. I'm using a blow dry cream as my base product, okay? Now, this is by Mela and Kira. It's a Toronto-based company. So it is a blow dry cream. It's an air dryer blow dry cream, and it has built-in heat protectant, What's the difference between a blow dry, air dry, curl, and a curl cream? Nothing really. They're the same thing. They provide marketing. They provide moisture. I guess one of the differences would be a blow dry cream is not going to do anything to encourage curl pattern. So if you're really looking for a curl cream that encourages bounce or encourages curl pattern, you wouldn't want to use a blow dry cream. Blow dry creams tend to be quite lightweight because they're meant for people who are going to leave their hair straight afterwards, so it can't look heavy in their hair. So for those reasons, I tend to quite like blow dry creams and using them as a curl cream for my hair because my hair quite likes lightweight products. Be mindful if you're someone who avoids silicones, whether or not the blow dry cream has silicones in it. Silicones are not the devil, but I know some curly folks and wavy folks like to avoid silicones. The other thing I like about blow dry creams is they typically have built-in heat protectant. So again, blow dry creams, air dry creams, these are products that we could use as a base product. Okay, so today I'm using a blow dry cream. This one is by Mela and Kira, and it is called their Exquisite Blowout Cream by the Balayage Exceptional one. So this is my first base product. Now my hair has gotten very dry while we were talking there. So I am literally going to stick my head under the sink. I don't know, you're not going to really be able to see what I'm doing here. See if I can do this without all my phones popping out. Oh my god, it's cold. So I just got my hair nice and saturated there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blow dry cream. And I'm going to take like about a quarter size amount of it, maybe a loonie size amount. And I'm going to rake that through to help trap in some of the moisture. Oh, okay. Now, I'm not too precious about how I get my products in there because I rake and shake after I apply my products. So I'm going to show you how I do that today. So for now, I'm just going to evenly distribute the product. I don't worry about it getting in there perfectly or anything like that. We're just making sure that it's evenly distributed. And I don't think I got any in the bottom. So I'll just put a little bit more in my hand and just make sure I got some at the nape of my neck. Okay, so that's gonna be my heat protectant and moisture and frizz control for my hair. Now, I know my hair is medium strand, I know that my hair is medium strand thickness, so I chose like kind of a lighter to medium weight blow dry cream. I want to encourage my curl, but my hair does hold its curl pretty well on its own. So rather than choose a curl cream, I chose a blow dry cream that was super lightweight and contained heat protectant that just smells amazing. Yeah. So that was my base product. The next product that I'm going to choose is going to be my topper. Okay. Okay, so when it comes, YouTube, what's going on? So when it comes to choosing your topper, most people are just going to choose a gel. It's as simple as that. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And I would say, if you want your hair to be curlier, choose a stronger gel. If you want your hair to be less curly, you can use a less strong hold gel. Or if you're not trying to if you want your hair to be curlier, choose a stronger hold gel. If you are not trying to encourage your curl, you can use a less strong hold gel. Now, we also want to look at strand thickness again. If your hair is fine, you need a lighter weight gel. If your hair is coarse, your hair can handle a heavier gel. That's as much info as you need. Now, if you're feeling adventurous and you want to expand beyond that, you can start to play with all other types of toppers. There are a million different types of toppers out there, so you can make it more complicated than that. Or if you're not getting the results you want from gel, you can certainly expand beyond that. Will gel make your hair crunchy? Probably. A lot of gels out there will create a cast. The cast is not the devil. The cast creates a stiff, shell around your hair during the drying process to protect it from frizz, because our hair is very prone to getting frizzy during the drying process. So the key is you leave that shell around your hair while your hair is drying, and then once your hair is 100% dry, you scrunch that away. So I'm going to use two toppers on my hair today. The first one is the Vital Curl Mousse by Weedad, which I totally love. The second one is I Create Definition, which is an extra stronghold foam by Inner Sense. Very unique product. So the mousse is here to add volume to my hair and a little bit of hold. This can be used as a one and done product on its own. I find they say it adds moisture. I find it doesn't add a ton of moisture. It's kind of like a medium weight to this mousse, and it does definitely add volume. I like a little bit more lightweight moisture, which is why I added a cream first, and I like a little bit more hold to encourage my curl, which is why I'm adding the I Create Definition foam after. So this is when you really start cocktailing something to make it perfect for you. One of the other things I really like about working with mousses, and foams too for that matter, is they're really great at making your hair clump. So this is my first time working with these products, so I really have no idea how much of them to use, but we are going to experiment. So I'm kind of using 2 golf ball size amounts. Of that. And the mousse, I guess I should also be putting at my roots. This is a really nice mousse if you're looking for something, if you really like mousse and you've been on the drugstore mousse train and you're looking to switch to a salon quality mousse. The Vital Curl Mousse is a really nice one. Okay, so we've got the mousse in there. The next product that I'm using, this is my second topper. So this is a foam by Inner Sense. This is a very strange product. Usually, if you're familiar with foams, you know that foams don't have hold. Foams, if anything, they might refresh hair, add a little bounce back into it, add some volume, maybe a very light hold, but this is not like that at all. This is a very strong hold product. It is a very unique foam. It creates an extremely strong cast. Like it's very, very unique. So, whoa, my hands are slippery. You can definitely overdo it with this product. So you need to be careful. You definitely want to apply it in sections because of that. Okay, so. But yeah, I like it because again, it's kind of, it's easy to distribute if you do it in sections. Because it's very liquidy as you apply it. I only add about 3 pumps to my whole head. Well, we'll see. I think about 3 pumps. But I love the cast that you get from this product. I actually reach for this product a lot when I'm in the salon. Sometimes just as a topper on top of gel. This is the Inner Sense I Create Definition, and it really does what it says on the tin. It creates amazing, lightweight definition. I've used it on so many different hair types at this point. For some hair types, I find it's better paired with a gel. Like some people, especially if your hair struggles to clump, you might need it with a gel. But for some people, it's just so nice as it on its own. So for my hair, I'm using it with a mousse. Although I am going to experiment with it on its own as well. On its own with a primer. You would never use I Create Definition, I don't think, on its own. If you have fine hair, I Create Definition mixed with I Create Volume from Inner Sense is a very nice combination. That's very lightweight. Okay. And then this is my last section here. So the nice thing about this product combination is nothing is too heavy, so in theory my hair should dry really quickly. We don't actually have any gel in my hair. But it should be a very strong hold combination. Last time Marilyn did this combination on my hair lasted like 3 days. Now, she's also really good at styling. Is I Create Definition drying? It shouldn't be, it's Inner Sense. But it has no moisture giving properties, so you would need to pair it with like curl creams and stuff like that. It's not a one and done product. Like it has aloe, glycerin. It shouldn't be drying on your hair. Foams typically aren't drying. Mousses can be drying sometimes. I do have a mousse in my hair too right now, but it's a very moisturizing mousse. Okay, so now we are going to do the rake and shake method. Now I want to be mindful that my hair is, because I'm taking too long to apply my products, is getting a little bit dry. Now, I usually put gel in my hair, which I don't worry about rinsing gel out because it has very moisture grabbing properties. I create definition though. I'm a little bit more nervous about it getting rinsed out of my hair because it's so lightweight. So I'm gonna be more cautious as I add water to my hair. I'm just gonna kind of wet my hands and rake it through. And we're gonna see how that goes. But you'll see like how wet I'm trying to make my hair before I start raking shaking. Otherwise my hair is gonna be too hard to work with. Okay, so now I'm going to take the diamond brush. I just realized I was pouring water all over my power bar. That's fun. Hi, Hill. Okay, so I'm gonna clip up the bottom part of my hair. I'm gonna go through and do the rake and shake method, and then I'm going to probably take like the very bottom section. Sorry, I'm taking the bottom section, but I'm probably going to scrunch in a very small amount of eye create definition right at the end. You got a hair stuck to your neck that didn't get the product. Okay, thank you. I'll just rake it all together like this. Okay, so for the rake and shake method, I'm brushing through with the diamond brush, raking my fingers through like that, and that's it. And then I move to the next section. I think people can be a bit too precious when they're doing the rake and shake method on their head. A couple of things about the rake and shake method. We're not trying to make individual perfect curls on our head. Okay, I mean you can, but you might be here all day. What you are trying to do is create separation between curl clumps, control frizz. I'm taking sections that are roughly the width of my knuckle. And at the very end, I'm going to scrunch my hair. And when I scrunch my hair at the very end, that is going to encourage the curl. So it's only when I encourage my curl at the very end that I'm gonna worry about kind of how curly or how spirally the hair is turning out. But I don't worry about that as I like go through each section. I'm not worrying about each spiral turning out perfectly. I'm just worrying about creating that separation between the individual curl clumps, and I'm worrying about controlling the frizz. So I brush through with the diamond brush, I create the separation, and I just reactivate the curl, and then I move to the next section. Especially when I'm doing the back of my head, I'm just moving pretty quickly. See, then I take my next section, brush through with the diamond brush. Oh yeah, the eye create definition has such nice slip to it. Then I move to the next section. This feels like it wants to be broken up into some smaller clumps. So I'm just gonna take a clip and clip it. I'm just gonna brush it. Yeah, it absolutely works on wavy hair. My hair is like on the slightly more spirally side of wavy, but if I have some old videos where I show my hair unstyled, and when my hair is unstyled, like I don't even have spirals on probably 30% of my head. So I have some spirals, some S waves on my head. And I use this technique to add definition, to enhance my curl in some areas. I'm a hairstylist. I work in a curly hair salon if you're new here. And this is the technique that I use on my clients to help them get more longevity out of their style and to have better refreshes. So I always say that a really good refresh starts with a really strong routine on day one. Now, is this the only way to style wavy or curly hair? Of course not. You don't have to do this. But a lot of people feel like this means they're gonna have to spend more time on their hair overall. But what I find is a lot of my clients are coming in and they're actually fully restyling their hair every single morning that they wanna wear it curly. So if you're doing that right now, and I can show you this technique, and then by doing this technique, we can get you to the point where on day 2, you have a 5-minute refresh instead of having to fully soak your hair and restyle your hair on day 2, then this becomes worth it, right? So it's really kind of a mindset. Now, it takes me a long time on these lives, especially when I'm like pausing and talking to you guys. But it can be very achievable to do your whole head with this technique in 15 minutes. Some people in 10 minutes, depending on how much hair you have. And of course, you know, I always say it's a toolkit, right? You get to choose what tools you pull out of the toolkit on any specific morning. So you might decide to do your whole head like this. You might decide to just do the top of your head like this. So it's all about teaching you skills. Okay, so the very back of my head, I really struggle with stringiness. So I'm going to, especially lately, I don't know what that's about. So I'm just going to take some smaller sections. No, maybe this is why I'm struggling with stringiness. Like, what am I doing? Okay, I don't know if you guys could see how I was pulling this section all the way around to the back of my head. You have to pull the section out perpendicular from where it grows on the head. Sometimes it's hard to even notice that you're doing that when you're doing it on your own head, but it's something to be mindful of. If the hair is coming out stringy, a couple of things to be mindful of. You can take a smaller section, you can add more water, or you can pinch it. See how I'm taking this hand and I'm pinching it horizontally like this? That's another great trick that you can do. So you can see how these sections are coming out a little bit stringy there. So I'm going to try adding a little bit more water. And I'm maybe going to add a little bit more eye create definition. And then I'm going to pinch it horizontally. And how is that? And yeah, that's falling much more smoothly. Then I will take my next section. So you can see how I'm kind of working through this top section of my head. I'm just like flipping it over the top and working my way down. Use my Demon brush to smooth any wet frizz and to clump the hair back together. And again, in these sections where I've been really struggling with stringiness, I'm literally just going to take small sections. and just let them fall on their own. I might even add a little bit of extra product here. So I added more water. I'm just taking very small sections, and I added a little bit of extra eye crate definition to really try and combat some of the problem areas on my head. And we'll see. I've been trying to figure out what exactly is causing it to get stringy back there. I know my hair gets lower density at the back of my head. I think maybe it's gotten worse. I don't know if my hair is getting lower density right at the back of my head. That could be what's happening. I'm afraid that that's what's happening. But anyway, so I gave it a little bit of, or it could be something about my diffusing technique that's causing that. So anyways, we're on a little mission to figure out what's going on there. So I'm kind of working my way up the back at this like treble section at the back of my head first, and then I'm gonna do the sides here. Again, I'm just brushing through with the Denman brush. You can rake through with your fingers. I might add a little bit more water if it comes out stringy. There we go. Let me just see how all that's falling. Lovely. Great. It's just that middle section that gives me a hard time. Okay, so once I come back to the front section, I like to work up in on the sides. So I brush through with the Denman brush. And again, I don't like this section to be wider than the width of my knuckle, so I'm going to split this into a front and a back section. And that might even be a little too like tall. And you'll be able to tell, I can just tell by feel now, but you'll be able to tell it's too tall because this section will get stringy when you start raking through it. But just a reminder, right now we're not trying to make perfect ringlets. All we're trying to do is get the hair to clump without being stringy. And when I say stringy, what I mean is that it's turning into like really juicy curl clumps. So here you can see like there aren't tiny little strings poking out of each of the curl clumps. And you can be like as precious about this as you want to be. If you just want to go through each section and just like rake it, you can. I'm kind of being a little bit more precious today because I've been dealing with my hair being a little bit stringy lately, and I'm excited to try these new products. So I'm like, I'm just gonna make everything perfect today. Okay, this other section. Again, so I'm turning into a front and back section because they're wider than the width of my knuckle. So then I'm gonna go in with that. Oh, and if you can feel that there's a section that doesn't have slip to it, you can just take a tiny little pump of the foam, I create definition. And this is by far the least curly section of my entire head, so I'm trying not to be try and make it perfect. And I'm really just focusing on creating the individual curl clumps. It's wild, you can really feel like the different textures on my head. It all of a sudden gets really coarse for my head. It gets coarse, like right there at that section. Okay. So there's a lot of different types of toppers that you can use on your head. When you're choosing your topper, I would say the main thing you want to consider is there's two main things. So we talked a little bit about your base product and choosing your topper. So your base product, the main criteria that you're going to pay attention to is your strand thickness, whether or not your hair is frizzy. Typically you're going to choose a cream product if your hair is frizzy. And then what your goals are. Do you want your hair to be more curly, less curly? And so you really just read the label and how they're marketing the product. So I kind of call like the wild factor, the wild card factor. The other, when it comes to your topper product, I honestly think if you don't know where to start, just choose a gel. People can make it too complicated for sure, and so many people are going to be very well served by a gel. It's going to give you more longevity. I think when you're first starting out, trying to use an all-in-one product is probably going to leave you frustrated. You're not going to get the longevity and the frizz control that you want. You can use an all-in-one, but layer gel over it. Because you're just not going to get the longevity. So that would be my advice. When it comes to selecting your gel, you want to be very mindful of the weight of the gel and the strength of the gel. If you want to encourage your curl, you are going to want a stronger gel. If you're not trying to encourage your curl, you don't need as strong a hold gel typically. And then apart from that, it's just the weight of the gel, and that comes down to your strand thickness. So your strand thickness really is very, very important. I know there's a lot of talk online about porosity. I have talked online about porosity a lot too. Porosity is relevant, but it's kind of like an advanced thing where it becomes more important if you have very low porosity hair. If your hair is not super resistant, your hair porosity is going to be less important than other factors, in my opinion. That's my hot take. If your hair is not super resistant, it's not the most important factor. If your hair is super resistant, it is going to be a very relevant factor in choosing your products. And in that case, so how do you know if your hair is super resistant? Your hair is going to really fight you when it comes to absorbing moisture. Maybe you're gonna have little white pieces that stick out as frizz when you're styling your hair. That's very, very common. Or your hair just like doesn't get wet. It just like resists moisture. Or products just kind of seem to sit on top of your hair and they don't really absorb. Those are all signs that your hair is very resistant. You might also, like, if you've ever had a hairstylist tell you that your hair doesn't like to take color, then your hair is resistant. Now, I'm not talking about lifting, that can be different. So we're not talking about bleach here, we're talking about like actual hair color. Okay, so I just like to do a couple of brush curls right on top of my head. You really don't have to do these, but the top of my head is a whole different texture to the rest of my hair, especially lately. So I'm just putting the brush at a downward angle. This helps smooth the frizz at the same time that it adds curl definition and encourages the curl. And then I just wrap it around my handle. I'm not wrapping it around the bristles. That's super important. It helps control the curl direction and control frizz at the same time. So that's one of the reasons I do this instead of finger curling. Finger curling doesn't control frizz. And with these pieces that are naturally more coarse on my hair, I struggle a bit with frizz and hydration. So by being able to brush through with the handle as well as kind of create that curl pattern, I just get that frizz control at the same time that I get to encourage the curl a little bit. Okay, we're almost done. My God, my hair better last all week. I'm taking way too long today. Okay, so I typically like to part my hair roughly where I have a cowlick, rather than trying to fight it. Okay, something like that. We're almost done. Okay, so let's talk about if you want things to go faster. So the most important part of your toolkit, or of what we did today, you want to apply your styling products to soaking wet hair. That's super, super important. By applying your styling products to soaking wet hair, you're getting that even product distribution, you're helping to control frizz. After I'm done the rake and shake method, I'm going to go in and I'm going to scrunch my hair, okay? Once I scrunch my hair, I'm going to be able to encourage the curl and really, and that's one of my big goals, is I like to encourage my curl. So if you're trying to encourage your curl, I would micro plop with a t-shirt and very gently scrunch the hair. So those are two steps that I would not leave out. I would make sure that you're still doing those. However, the rake and shake method in between is one that's going to give you more longevity and frizz control. So it's up to you to what extent you include the rake and shake method. I would say if you are currently going straight from applying your products to soaking wet hair, straight to scrunching your hair and micro plopping, and you like the results you're getting good longevity out of your style. Somebody's comment was filtered over on TikTok, so if you just said something innocent and it got filtered out, you can just ask it in a different way maybe. Sometimes they filter out innocent comments. Then if you can just then you can keep doing that. And maybe if you just want like a little bit more control in the outcome, you can try just doing a couple of brush curls or a little bit of rake and shake just around your face framing sections. If you just find that it's a little bit unpredictable in your outcome around your face, for example. Because sometimes that's something I hear people say is they're like, yeah, it's just like sometimes it turns out and sometimes it doesn't. Oh, good. Maybe I should stop warning people that. And then the, one sec. The other, what was I gonna say? The other, what were I just talking about? Oh yeah, so if you're happy with the results that you're getting, just going straight from, oh yeah, you can just do a few rake and shakes just around your face to get a little bit more predictability in your outcome. So that's definitely one way that you can kind of reduce the amount of like time investment in your routine and yet also still get a little bit more predictability in your outcome. However, if you are really struggling with things like frizz in your routine or longevity out of your routine, maybe you like your day one, but you're just like not ever getting day two out of your routine, there's a couple of things to look at. One of them is definitely going to be the amount of water that you're using. I know people always tell me that their hair is, they're using lots of water, their hair is soaking wet with their styling, but when they come to see me in the salon, they're always like, oh, no, you're using more water than I'm using. I didn't realize how wet my hair needed to be. Try using more water, for one. Secondly, you might need different products or better quality products. It does make a big difference to use good quality products. You might need help selecting the right products. Realistically, I know it can be tricky to find the right products for you. And finally, you might need something like the rake and shake method, especially if your hair is transitioning. And I think this is the biggest reason that we teach the rake and shake method in the salon is because of just that. It's because a lot of the clients that come to see us in the salon have what we call transitioning hair. And what do I mean by transitioning hair? It's hair that's not yet at its optimal health. If your hair is not yet at its optimal health, it's still healing, maybe we're still growing out bleach or heat damage, or your hair is just still learning how to be at its healthiest. Maybe it's still learning how to take on moisture, it's still learning, it's still growing out keratin damage maybe, or any sort of damage. There's lots out there, heat damage, whatever it may be. Rake and shake method is going to help you start to get those end results that you're looking for sooner without just having to wait and cut it off. You're gonna get much better results much sooner, and it's gonna help you with that transition period. Once your hair is 100% healed, you might be able to get closer to the rake and shake results with less work, but during that transition period, the rake and shake method is going to go a long way to helping you bridge that gap. And that's one of the big reasons we teach the rake and shake method in a salon. Okay. So, we spent a lot of time doing my hair today. That was fun though. One of the things I'm going to do, because I did add a lot of water to my hair and I'm a little worried because the products we used were very light today, so I don't know how much they would have watered down. Usually I'm not worried about that with gel, with foam, I just don't know. So I'm gonna use one very light pump. You can really overdo it with this foam though, so we're gonna see. And when I do my first scrunch, I'm just very gently scrunching it in the ends. Where is my towel? There it is. So I like to put it on the ground so that I don't get water everywhere. Okay. 4 scrunches. Don't overdo it. Okay? So the first scrunch is to really press the product into the hair. Then I flip all my hair to one side. I'm using a microfiber towel. I typically prefer to use a t-shirt. And now I'm going to micro plop my hair, okay? I'm just very firmly scrunching out any excess water. And the key here is you really want to be gentle with your hair. You don't want to excessively scrunch. We're really just getting rid of the excess water. If your hair is very prone to getting frizzy, like you look at your hair wrong and it gets frizzy, you can, and especially if you're not trying to encourage the curl, you can skip this step. You don't have to scrunch your hair. But if you skip this step, your hair is going to take a very long time to diffuse. But if you've got very high porosity hair, your hair dries very quickly, and it's very prone to getting frizzy, you could skip this step. Okay, that's it. That's all we're going to do. Just a couple of little scrunches. Okay? We've got very good frizz control right now. I'm going to stand on my towel so I don't electrocute myself and grab my blow dryer. And hopefully this will turn on now. Yes, okay. When I'm diffusing my hair, there's 2 main diffusing techniques that I use. Now, depending on what your goals are when you're diffusing your hair, you're going to use these 2 techniques differently. 1 second, I need another sip of coffee. If you're new here, by the way, my name is Gal. I'm a hairstylist. I work in a curly hair salon, and we're doing my hair today. So, if the first technique that we're going to use is called hover diffusing, the second technique is called pixie diffusing. The point of hover diffusing is you want to help your cast to start to set. Okay, so I'm going to put it on high heat to start. And the reason I can have it on a higher heat setting to start is because I'm not actually touching my hair. I'm hovering, literally hovering around the hair. Sorry, 1 second. I love my blow dryer, but I have to say the one thing about this blow dryer is it does have a very short cord. It's only 6 feet long, so I have to have it on an extension. And I can't, there we go. You're welcome, Kendra. Okay, so when you're hover diffusing, you're literally gonna hover a blow dryer 8 to 10 centimeters away from your hair. I hover diffuse on a high heat. I have heat protection for my hair, and by the time this heat reaches my hair, it's not gonna burn my hair. It's not that hot by the time it actually gets to my hair. But do whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. So I'm gonna hover. I like to have a defined part. So I am going to hover diffuse upright a little bit, and then I'm going to hover diffuse upside down to get a little bit more volume. So I'm not going to hover diffuse for too long because I am going to go into pixie diffusing, which is my other technique. So the point of hover diffusing is to allow the gel cast to start to set to protect my hair from frizz. It also allows my curl pattern to start to kind of identify itself, so that I don't end up with as many like wonky curls, if you know what I mean. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and I'm going to start pixie diffusing. So when I pixie diffuse, I like to switch to a heat cycling mode. So it automatically cycles between a hot and a cool setting. I'm going to flip my hair upside down. And I'm going to lower the hair into the mouth of the diffuser. When I'm pixie diffusing, while hover diffusing creates the least amount of frizz, pixie diffusing encourages the curl pattern. Now, the key with pixie diffusing is in order to not create a ton of frizz, you need to hold positions. On my hair, like to hold positions for like 15 seconds or so. How long you hold the positions when you're pixie diffusing is going to depend on how quickly your hair dries. If your hair dries in like 10-15 minutes when you're diffusing your hair, you might only hold positions for like 8 seconds. But if your hair takes like 30-40 minutes to diffuse, you might hold positions for like 30 seconds. The key is you don't want to move the diffuser every like 3 or 4 seconds, because if you do that, you're going to create a ton of frizz. The biggest mistake that I see people making when they're diffusing their hair is they're constantly moving the diffuser while pixie diffusing. And that creates so much frizz because your hair is super fragile when it's wet. Every time you touch or move your hair while your hair is wet, you make it a little bit frizzier. So you want to be very mindful of every time you're moving the diffuser that it's intentional, that there's a reason for it. So if I don't have to move the diffuser, I'm not going to. I'm only moving the diffuser because if I hold it in that position any longer, the hair is going to get so dry in that position that it's going to get like weirdly shaped like that. Does that make sense? So I want to have enough movement that I'm creating like body and movement back and forth, but not so much movement that I'm creating frizz. So it's finding that balance. For most people, you're going to move the diffuser every 20 seconds or so. And when you first start diffusing your hair, it can be helpful to literally like set a timer to get a sense of how long that is. What can you put on your hair when it's dry to control frizz throughout the day? It depends what's creating the frizz throughout the day. So like part of that is going to come down to your product selection, like what curl cream and gel are you using, or what styling products are you using. Using a shine serum or a hair oil can help. But if it's something like humidity that's causing your frizz, you can use an anti-humidity spray. So like it really depends why your hair is getting frizzy throughout the day. It could also be happening because your hair is thirsty. Maybe you're not using enough water during the styling process. So it could be caused by a lot of different things. Or maybe your hair needs like a deep treatment. Have you been doing deep treatments recently? I know that's happening to me lately. My hair has been getting frizzy throughout the day. And it's not so much that I'm missing a product in my routine, so much as my hair needed deep treatments. Like, I talked to Marilyn about it, and she's like, two things. One, you need to switch up the styling products that you're using right now. And two, just because your hair has changed with the change in season. And two, when was the last time you did a deep treatment? Your hair is thirsty. So, it can be different factors at play. Okay, when you're diffusing, don't forget to lean your head backwards and diffuse like this. People never do that, but it's important because you don't walk around with your head tilted forward all the time. Thank you for sharing my live, Rachel. If you find this helpful, guys, don't forget to like the live and share it. It's very helpful for me. So the two main diffusing techniques that we did today, one of them was hover diffusing. The other one that I'm doing right now is pixie diffusing. It really is the main building block to diffusing your hair. I would say the biggest reason, I hear people say all the time, I can't diffuse my hair. If I diffuse my hair, it's frizzier than when I air dry. If you're using good diffusing techniques, it should create less frizz than air drying for 99% of people. Because diffusing reduces the amount of time that your hair is wet, and as a result, your hair should be subject to less potential opportunities to get frizzy. What's happening is you're creating more frizz when you're diffusing your hair accidentally because you're moving the diffuser too much. But once you learn good diffusing technique, that won't be an issue anymore. So it's finding that balance between hover diffusing and pixie diffusing, and once you unlock that, that won't be an issue anymore. I love the heat cycling mode on the Lifen. My hair is drying very quickly with these products, which is very nice. I guess that's the nice thing about using a mousse and a foam instead of a gel. less. I used to do a lot of hover diffusing to really try and have a lot of definition and less frizz. But lately I've been going for a lot more pixie diffusing and a lot less. Like I've been worried less about frizz and just going for a lot more curl, a lot more volume. So it's really something that you can play around with in your routine, depending on what your goals are. Some people actually prefer pixie diffusing first, which is absolutely something you can do and something you can experiment with. There's no right or wrong answer. There are some hair types, especially if your hair dries very, very quickly, that don't need to hover diffuse at all. And there are certainly some curl patterns that don't need to pixie diffuse at all. If you do not have it as one of your goals to encourage your curl pattern, like if you already have quite a tight curl pattern, then you don't need to pixie diffuse. Pixie diffusing is not mandatory. Like what I'm doing right now, if your hair is already super, super curly, you don't need pixie diffuse. You can hover diffuse pretty much the whole time, other than like when you're trying to dry like underneath in some areas, you're just like really trying to get the ends dry. But you don't have to pixie diffuse. In fact, it might just be creating unnecessary frizz. So you want to be mindful about what techniques are best for you. And you want to build a routine that is perfect for you. Hello. Lately in the salon, I've been experimenting with a Diva Curl product. I don't know if anybody else has tried this product, but it's their aerosol, I forget what it's called, but it's a spray that helps your hair dry 60% faster. And I was so suspicious of it for the longest time. And when you use it, it makes you cough because it makes all the saliva in your mouth dry out. So I don't use it that often in the salon because it makes my clients cough. But lately I've been thinking I want it for at home because it really does work. And I'm like, it would be so great for these lives. I don't know that your hair dries 60% faster, but it probably does dry 50% faster. It is quite an impressive product. Has anybody else tried one of these sprays? Do I sleep in a scarf bonnet? Yes. Pretty much every night. The quick dry product name, I forget what it's called, but it's by Diva Curl and it's an aerosol spray. I think it's in a yellow container. If you go to my salon, which is linked in my bio called Curlology, we sell it there. You might be able to see it online. Yeah, it does work. I know. You think it wouldn't work. Like, I feel like, but I guess our fast drying nail polish works, so why wouldn't this work? But I sometimes want to buy it. I just bought myself so many hair products though, so it's like, I can't buy this too. Oh yeah, I love Diva Curl products. I'm a huge Diva Curl advocate. I love their products. We sell them in the salon. They're fantastic. There was only one Diva Curl product that there was any controversy about, and the whole brand got slammed over it. It was their no poo shampoo. I use Diva Curl products, love them. Yeah, me too. I love them. I've been trying to love their gel, but their gel is just not heavy enough for my hair. Or something. I don't know, but I love their gel. It's so perfect for so many of my clients. But it's just not quite right for my hair. I might try their heavier gel, the Supreme. But it's so, like, my clients love it. Okay guys, we're almost dry. The only 3 brands to use are Diva Curl, Curlsmith, and WeDone. It's just not the same as the original gel. I tried Supreme and I found it drying. I used to love the Ultra Defining Gel, but even my stylist says it's not the same. I never used the original one, but I have heard that Supreme is not the same as Archangel. I haven't heard that about the difference between the old Ultra and the new Ultra though. You're welcome. But Kathy, I haven't heard about the difference with the Ultras, but I have definitely heard that between, it used to be called Archangel and now it's called Supreme, and I definitely have heard people say that it's not the same. But some people love the new Supreme and some people love Archangel, so, you know. Who knows, right? Like popularity and ingredients changes and like, you know, companies have to reformulate, right? I use the Ultra Defining. Supreme is too heavy for my hair. I know that's why people love Ultra Defining gels. It's such a lightweight gel, but I think it's too lightweight for my hair. I think my hair needs something a little bit heavier, which is why I'm so intrigued that my hair seems to love this foam. But I guess it's a very strong hold foam, which is so unusual. And I'm pairing it with a mousse, and mousses tend to have like, they have some weight to them. I don't know how else to describe it. They have like, this is a very like moisturizing mousse. Okay, so we're almost dry. So I want to show you, oh my God, my ears are ringing. So, YouTube, bring you up a little bit. So I want to show you, so it's wild to see the cast that I got from that foam. But the iCreate Definition creates a very strong hold cast. And it really does what it says on the tin. It creates definition. So we're gonna break this and like bring all the volume back into my hair. My curl pattern tends to curl more as the day goes on and doesn't really relax like most people. Any recommendations? I have somewhat 3AC hair. Tends to curl more as the days go on and doesn't really relax like most people. If it's getting curlier as the day goes on, Do you want it to relax? Most girls who have looser curl patterns don't like that their curl, I shouldn't speak for all people, but they don't like that their curl is relaxing. We're gonna break the cast still here on my hair, so bear with me for a second. So, are you wanting a looser curl pattern? If so, then part of that is going to come down to using the right products to relax your curl a little bit. So make sure you're using enough of the right curl cream that is the right weight for your hair, and enough of the right gel. I would say like not a stronghold gel for sure in your hair. And a big part of that, if you don't want to encourage your curl, is to hover diffuse your hair. Don't pixie diffuse your hair or even air dry. You might even experiment with, depending on the strand thickness of your hair, you could experiment with some like of the gels that prevent shrinkage. Not really meant for your hair type, but if your hair is on the coarser side, you might be able to experiment with some of those. Some of those kind of weigh your hair down a little bit if you're trying to relax your hair a little bit. They're not going to be like a relaxer or anything like that. They're just heavier products, and they tend to have some like chemicals in them that will like, they won't encourage your curl pattern at all. Have you been wanting to try that foam? Yeah, it's great. I use it on literally every different curl pattern. It is such a versatile product. I love stacking this product. You can stack it over gel, you can stack it over lotions, you can stack it on its own over a curl cream. Like it's such a great, like I encourage you to play with it. You can overdo it with this foam. You absolutely can overdo it. I have, like, if you have the thickest hair in the world, I've never seen anyone use more than 6 or 7 pumps, and that is like you have a lot of hair. Well, I mean, if you have like, you know, type 4 hair and you've got like very high density, okay, maybe we're starting to play with like a little bit more of this product. But definitely, if your hair is more like mine, not low density, more moderate density, sorry, not high density, more moderate density, chances are you're not going to be using more than 4 pumps. If you're low density, you might be 1 pump. You might be 1.5, 2 pumps of this product. You can definitely overdo it. So be mindful so that you don't end up with a rock hard cast, and have that shine serum or hair oil on standby to help you break the cast if you're struggling. Okay. We used about 4 pumps on my hair, and I definitely have a strong, stiff cast on my hair, but nothing I'm not happy about. Okay. Oh my God, it's looking so good. So this is the I Create Definition foam that we used. I love my haircut right now. I feel like every time I get my hair cut, I go a little bit shorter. It's so cute. Which side does this? Goes back here, I think. This can go on this side. This can go on. Okay, so I think I'm just going to leave it like this for like an hour or so because I don't have anywhere to be right now. And then once it's kind of had a chance to settle and like equilibrate with the environment, I think I'm gonna like shake it out and like really let it grow. But I feel like this is such a good foundation. How's the back looking, guys? Oh, the back is looking good. Whoa, okay. Okay, I see you. I see you. That was not good. Whoa, I'm gonna do it again. Okay, well, that's gonna go to the side right now. For now, we're just gonna hold them like this. So I just need to like break up a couple of curl clumps. Okay, so if you have been here the last couple of weeks, you know how much I've been fighting with the back, but look at the back. I'm so excited. It's like, it's not stringy at all. I'm so excited. This is the best that my hair has looked in a very, very long time. Yay. Oh, and you know what part, I have to give credit where credit is due. I was talking to Marilyn because I've really been fighting with my hair the last couple of lives and the last couple of wash days, as some of you might know if you've been here. And so I talked to Marilyn about it, some of the bonuses of working in a curly hair salon, and I was like, what do you think is going on? And she's like, well, I think, first of all, you need to clarify, which I did need to clarify, it was due. But she said, also, when was the last time you did a deep treatment? So I did this deep treatment, and I left it in my hair for 25 minutes today because it had been so long since I did a deep treatment. I did the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Weightless Mask, okay? And this is not just a deep conditioner, this is a deep treatment. It has smaller molecules so that it can really like penetrate the hair strands. And it's a weightless mask, so it doesn't weigh your hair down. And I really think that this helped with the frizz, because like, do y'all see? There's no frizz. I'm gonna turn this light on for a sec so you can really see. Like, no frizz at all. At all, at all. My hair is just very happy with me right now. This is not an inexpensive product. You can get it from my salon right now. It's, I'm pretty sure you can order it online. It is the Living Proof, so the link is in my bio. Living Proof Perfect Hair Day PhD, Living Proof PhD Weightless Mask. So who this is good for is obviously there's no product that's right for everybody, right? So this isn't gonna be right for my coarse hair girlies. If you have very coarse, thick, heavy hair, I'm not gonna recommend this for you, and it's an expensive product. So Who this is good for, if you have very fine hair, this is great for you, or just generally if your hair is weighed down quite easily. In my case, my hair is not fine, but I don't like my hair to get weighed down, okay? So I wanted something that was gonna be moisture forward, but that wasn't gonna weigh my hair down. I also have very different strand thicknesses on my head. So I do have one patch of like medium to coarse areas. It's a very small patch of just one area on my head, okay? Everything else is kind of medium strand thickness and is silkier and gets weighed down quite easily. So because of that, I like this for my hair, okay? It's called Living Proof PhD, and they say to leave it on for 5 minutes. Today I left it on my hair for 20 minutes, and then I conditioned after as well. And I have to say, I definitely credit that with this being such a good wash day. I might even do this once a week for a little while, just until I feel like I have rebooted my hair, and then I'm gonna switch it to once a month. But yeah, the lineup for today's products we used, there's two main types of products that most people are going to use on their hair. As a reminder, most people are going to use a base product and a topper product. I used a base product, I used a cream product because I struggle with frizz, and I used a lightweight product because my hair is weighed down easily and it's a medium strand thickness. Not super lightweight, but like a medium to lightweight. So I chose a blow dry cream that contains heat protectant. It doesn't encourage curl, but that's okay. My hair tends to hold its curl pretty easily. It's the Mela and Cura blow dry cream, and it's cream, so it helps to control frizz. Okay, next for my toppers, I chose 2 toppers. Most people are just going to use a gel for their topper, nice and easy. Strong hold if you want to encourage your curl, not strong hold or soft hold if you are not trying to encourage your curl, okay? Heavy if you have coarse hair, lightweight if you have fine hair. I chose 2 toppers today. My Vital Curl because I wanted volume, this is a mousse, and then I Create Definition Foam because it's lightweight, strong hold, because I wanted volume and I wanted to encourage my curl. Remember I said strong hold products if you want to encourage your curl. So that was the combination that I chose. Now really, if you think about how I built my products, I kind of based it around this mousse. I was kind of thinking like, okay, I wanted to try out a mousse for my hair because I was like, hey, a mousse can sometimes be a nice product if you want big hair with lots of volume. Guys, I know I don't have lots of volume right now. I can get lots more volume if I keep shaking this out. I want to wait a little bit. I want to wait half an hour or 45 minutes before I finish shaking my hair out because my hair is still settling a little bit. It's like it's equalizing with the environment. I don't know if all environments do that, but Ontario is very much like that. When I finish diffusing my hair, I feel like there's at least 15 minutes where like my hair is settling and equalizing with the environment when I finish getting it dry. So when I'm not on live, I usually don't finish shaking it out and stuff like that for like 15 minutes after I finish diffusing it. And especially because it's looking so good today, I'm just gonna like leave it. And you can even see it's gotten a little bit frizzier in the first few minutes here. So anyways, that's one of the reasons like I don't want to shake it out too much before I see exactly where I stand with it. Okay. So I started building my routine around this mousse, which I chose because this mousse adds some definition, some hold, lots of volume, and it could have been used as an all-in-one product. However, from here, it didn't give me everything I wanted. It didn't have quite enough hold for me to get longevity out of my style. So from there, I'm gonna add a product with stronger hold, but that's also still lightweight. So I'm not going to lose the volume. So that's where we come in with the I Create Definition. This is going to give me more longevity out of the style. Okay? And here, this also didn't have enough kind of heat protectant and moisture. So then I'm going to come in with or frizz control. So then I'm going to come in with my primer or my base product. And this was the blow dry cream. So that's how I built. So this is another way to kind of choose your products, is you can choose your starter product and you can start to customize like plus minus other products based on what's missing. So which is your porosity? I have medium porosity hair. I don't have high porosity hair. I don't have low porosity hair. Not everybody has high or low porosity hair, and many people have multiple porosities on their head. I used to have low porosity leaning hair. Now that I'm a hairstylist and I blow dry my hair more frequently, I would say my hair is high porosity leaning because I have a little bit of heat damage. But it's like media, it's still within the realm of medium. My hair still takes a long time to blow dry. Okay, thanks so much for joining today, guys. That was lots of fun. We'll finish shaking her out. Oh my god, my hair is so soft. It's so soft. Oh my god, it's so soft. Okay, so that's my hair for today. If I wanted to build it from here with volume, I would use, and I might wait till tomorrow to see if I need it, but I could use the Going Up texture spray and spray a little bit of that right at the roots to help it hold volume a little bit better. So we'll see if the volume falls, but so far I feel like it's pretty cute. I love my haircut. Marilyn did a great job. Okay, I will see you guys next Wednesday at 7:15. I go live every single Wednesday at 7:15 a.m. with a full hair routine where I go through all of the tips and tricks and techniques that we talk about in salon if you come to see me as a client. See you next week. Bye.